Oops. Hello, everybody. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations, and I received a sweet surprise in my mailbox yesterday. Um, so Peg Robinson, thank you so much for brightening my mailbox. Scott told me, he said, "You got a package," and I said, "I didn't order anything." So I opened it up and I've looked at it and I wanted to share because it's just a really sweet thing. She sent me some patterns. This is Little Bo Peep, and she's 16 inches tall. And look, she's got a tiny little sheep next to her. Isn't that cute? This is so cute. Country Stitches designed by Brenda Gervais, 1987. So there was that one. And then this short and shaggy coat looks really interesting. A quilter from a quilter's wardrobe. And this was done in 1989 by Anne Colvin. And it looks like Peg looked up and found these at a place called Thrift Mart. So she got them for really, really inexpensive prices. But isn't that jacket just interesting? I might look at this one because that looks like it would be so easy to do. And you'd end up with something very unique. So I'm going to look at this one later on. And then this here is, these are additional patterns, I think, here. But this was a row by row from Sioux Falls, South Dakota quilt where you do a row and it came in like a kit. Hi, Deb. And it's got the, I don't know if you can see, yeah, the patterns for those cute little fish are in here. So this was a row by row designed by Lori Kern, 2015, from quiltersheadquarters.com. You might go to quiltersheadquarters.com and see if this is something they have. Like I said, Peg found these at a place called Thrift Mart. And then this one, this one came from a place called The Wooden Thimble in Esterville, Iowa. Underwater Fantasy Row fabric pack. So this had the fabric pack, but it's got the components. There's fish and seagrass and turtles and a frog. So those, you could actually do this, but substitute the fish with these animals. And I thought that was really cute too. This is inspired by Time Quilts, Storm Lake, Iowa. Raindrops and Ripples, Iowa Row by Row Experience 2015. And it just looks cool the way they are doing that. And it looks like they turned this one into maybe just like a table runner, because it looks like it has a binding on the edge. Let's see. And this is just a list of supplies on the back. I was looking for maybe the original shop or company name. Embroiderydesigns.com did the Noah's Ark raindrops. So I guess the raindrops are embroidered onto it. I just think that's beautiful. I love when you can find a pattern that's tone on tone and all in one shade. So there's prints that are the same tone or color, and you just get little pieces. It just looks really cool. And then this is in here, a pattern for this patriotic pinwheels, and designed by Sherry Safiote. Pattern for a 32 by 32 quilt and a 14.5 by 14.5 Annie pillow from Indigo Junction Incorporated. So I guess that pillow right there is included, which I think is cute. It says on the pillow, "The best of friends, we shall be forever, and may just maybe that says maybe, just Annie and me. So the dolly is Annie that's on there. But you could, put anything on the pillow. It uses Osnaburg. I'm probably saying that wrong for the background. It's that kind of coarse material. When I worked at Joann's, sad day. Every time I say Joann's, it makes me sad. But it would be sold with the utility fabric. So the Osnaburg, the pillow ticking, the what's the wide weave one? I can't remember the name of it right now. Huck toweling would be over there. All the stuff that you could do handwork on was all sold together. But I love those pinwheels done like that. When I think pinwheels, I think like the sail shapes just going around. But this they created by different strips of fabric on some triangles and then put it together. And it still creates a pinwheel effect. I've never seen pinwheels like that before. Maybe I've seen them, but they've been called something else. And then she got this. The Treasury of Country Crafts and Foods. And I was going to see, this is one of those Better Homes and Gardens. It was probably one of those books that you could get in those book clubs. Do you remember the book clubs of the 80s and 90s where you'd start the book club off and you could choose like 4 to 6 books, and then each month you could choose a book to have delivered to the house? I did that for several years. I have a bunch of these Better Homes and Gardens type crafting books and stuff. Some that I got, I've passed on to thrift stores, but I thought we could look through this real quick and reminisce. Let's see, copyright 1983. I had been out of high school for 1 year, and I didn't put any milk in my tea, but I'm still going to try to drink it just plain. I've got a little bit of a raspy voice. So we'll just look through. These are so fun to look through. You don't see people decorating everything in gingham like they used to. You go and Grandma would have the toilet seat covered with a fluffy pillow cover on it, and sometimes it's fun to reminisce, but I would never do that now. Especially with being the only girl in a house with two men. Yeah, fluffy pillowcases and things like that in the bathroom just never made much sense to me, but I love the tops they have featured in here just because of the embroidery that's done on the front of them. Oh, wow. There was some on the farm where I grew up. There was a couple bedspreads like this that had the raised design on it. So pretty. This looks like it's probably wool. The rug is 37 by 64, and the pillow is 15 inches square. All of these like quilt blocks like this, if you've never visited Quilter's Cache, spelled CACHE.com, she has thousands of instructions on the different blocks and different techniques. If you were to want to learn technique, you could go and just make a single block and then create a sampler quilt using the patterns that are on there. What was her name? It's not Gloria. I don't know. I'll put a link to Quilter's Cache in my description box when I sign off from here. Now we're getting into some of the older food things. Being raised by somebody born in 1908, I love old basic ingredient recipes. Scott's going, yep, in the background. He's not a fan of what he calls crap from a box. Shit from a box. Yeah, he's not a fan. My crust looks better than that. Sorry. I don't know what that is. What is this? That's the rice pudding. Let's see. The Austrians gave us Soloburger Knockerl from front left. Front left. Here. And lemon meringues baked in butter. A regal plum pudding front center is an English recipe served with fluffy hard sauce. Many European countries claim holiday rice pudding front right, and then the currant raspberry sauce makes it uniquely American. And then the Scots would serve Scotch black bun back left. Back left. So I'm confused. I'm not real sure. Is this the Scotch black bun back left? And then Salenberger Knockerl front left, lemon meringues. Yeah, that's that. That's the Austrian recipe. That's interesting to me. I might have to look at that one and see what it's like. So I'm just going to flip through here. Oh, the 80s and the country blue and mauve. Oh my gosh. I remember that well. That's a beautiful quilt. Oh, a baby kitty cat. Then they got the patterns, and of course you have to blow them up. 1 square equals an inch. Back in those days, we didn't have scanners where we could just say, blow it up, so much and print it off. Those were the days, hand drawing things out. This is lovely. Some embroidered tea towels. All the old bowls and baskets. Oh, this is pretty, where they did a scene and did it with like flat felled seams or covered seams so that you could just leave it one layer and use it as a curtain. Oh, I love that idea. All right, I'll get past the pattern pages. Here we go. Country crafts to decorate your home. And in the 80s and 90s, I crocheted a ton of doilies and gave them away. And you can do a collage with the doilies and laces and trims and put it in a frame. These were done with dried flowers, and I did some of this when I was in junior Grange. So when I was about 10, 11, 12, I was in junior Grange in New York, and we had a really older lady. She was probably born in the 1800s, and she had dried a bunch of flowers and worked with us girls. You pick the flowers up with tweezers and you'd lay them down, and they were just kind of tacked down, and then you laid your glass on it and slid it into the picture frames. My grandmother had the one I made, but it probably got thrown in the dumpster with everything else when the guy bought the house at auction. And the lady wouldn't really let us little kids work independently because she didn't want us to ruin all those flowers she dried. So she'd like, if we tried to reach for too many things, she'd grab our hands. She was a bit of a control freak. Anyway. Oh, and I love the lamp covers. They just are so funny to me, but they look cool. A lot of this stuff is a dying art because young people don't care about it. Handwork and things like that. Your grandma peeling apples on the porch swing. Because she could as easily be sitting there shucking peas. Painting. Remember the whole painting on furniture of the 80s? I think Barb Owen, in a live, she talked about doing the oil painting on her kitchen cabinets in their very first home. Snapping peas. Oh, I like that these build-it-yourself furniture. I already have 2 chests, so I don't need that. But it says they showed a pine bed here, page 67. And I didn't realize the patterns for the bed were going to be in here. So the pattern for this bed is in here. And this seated area with storage underneath. I might show that to Scott because I'd like something like that in the kitchen. And then I could make a cushion to go on it because Piper, Greg's cat, she likes to come in and just lay in the kitchen and watch me. She really hates our cats, but she likes to perch herself on a seat. And if I had that, then we could store the cat food and stuff under the seat. So it's out of sight. And it's got all the dimensions. I'll show that to him. Let me get my Post-it and I'm going to mark that. Y'all know when I get a new book or magazine, I grab the Post-its and I mark the pages, things I want to look back on. Joy is for living, life is for loving, love is for giving. I like that cross stitch. I might have to scan it and print it off just slightly larger so I can see it. Stenciling, rose mauling, and wood carving. Okay. This is the painting Barb Owen did on her kitchen cabinets. Rose mauling. Carve some ducks. Patchwork and quilting the traditional pieced patterns. Oh my word. All those flying ducks. Look at all of them. Holy moly, they go everywhere. That lady had a lot of patience. Oh, that's a beauty. Wasn't Lisa doing a circle quilt? She needs to see this picture. Wow. So pretty. I just love scrappy quilts the best. Like this. I love a scrappy quilt that's, to me, it holds a bunch of memories because you can use somebody's shirts. Oh, here's another circle. Oh, Greg's home from work.
I can't believe I went to work.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm live.
Oh, hello, everyone.
It's just me and Deb right now.
All right.
People aren't used to seeing me on a Saturday.
Just be on your best behavior.
A red and black quilt. Kind of just depressing to me, but oh, I love the red work embroidery. I hope those patterns are in here. They probably are. These are like Civil War quilts with all that dark fabric. I like my quilts to be colorful. Deb says, hi.
Hi, Deb.
I didn't see the patterns for the red work. Aw, Little teapots are cute, and they look like they were sewn down with a blanket stitch. And then this looks like it's done with French knots to do a little dotted design. That little girl looks like she does not want to be in that picture at all. All right, now, are we going to have the red work designs that were on the pillow? I'm not seeing them. Oh, there's the teapot pattern. The sun's going to come in, blow us out here. Look at all this gingham. There's green gingham, yellow gingham, orange. Oh my goodness, all the different ginghams. Stitchery and needle crafts. Oh, even the lady's wearing a gingham dress. Do a home sweet home. So this is all the stitchery. We've got to go over to Scott's mom's and work on her dryer a little bit. Needlepoint, that's what that is. That's needlepoint, where you do the longer stitches. Oh, stitchery and needle crafts. Look at the rabbits. Oh. See, I wouldn't want to do that and put it on the floor as a rug. I'd want to hang it on the wall so people couldn't step on it. But these are rugs, Becky. They're meant to be stepped on. But imagine all that work and then you throw it down for people to step on. Look at that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to pick a project. I have so many projects. This is just a gift I received in the mail out of the blue. We're going to have to lose the sunshine here. It's just washing me out. And now I'm getting a glare from this light here. Oh, well. It'll just have to do. Sorry. I think I said this book was from 1983. Oh, now this would go in with the gals that are all doing like K3N cloth tails. She has a project going on for slow stitching. And then there's Jerry Bellini. She's been doing circles, but you could do like a little slow stitch patch like this. That is so, I love the simplicity of that, but there's a lot going on there. There's a bunch of different stitches and techniques. These are crocheted flowers or tatted. They could be tatted. Yep. Yep. It says shuttles, so that's tatting. I might have to copy that page and send it to Mary. This is Hardanger. That was another one of the specialty fabrics sewn at Joann's. And one of the ladies I worked with, she made me a couple Hardanger towels. They were gorgeous. Here's the special stitchery. It's a darning sampler. So it's a sampler of different darning stitches. You know, and everybody used to darn their socks with patterns like this. Patchwork applique and rug making. Oh, I love the idea of a checkerboard. An applique. And here's the rug making with the strips. Braided. They're braiding it, and then they put it around and sew it together. My great Aunt Nellie used to do that. Oh, bread is a downfall for me. I love homemade bread. And I don't do it with a bread machine. Again, I was raised by somebody born in 1908. So you get your basic yeast recipe, and then they have coconut cherry coffee ring, an almond lemon sticky buns, cranberry relish twist, a cheese-filled braid, spicy butternuts. You use the basic recipe over here to make all of those. Oh, there's a molasses rye bread. I love a dark bread like that. Wow, pumpkin bread, Lucia's buns. Ought to send that to Lucia as a joke. Here, make your buns. She'd get a hoot out of it. Bread baking. Some of them in the pictures, they look like this right here. It looks like it would be like rock hard. You'd have to dip it in your tea. Hi, Allie Kay. How are you today? So all these different coffee cakes and breads. Sundays, I make a special bread every week, whether it's cinnamon rolls, waffles, pancakes. It's something that's slower than frying up a piece of sausage and an egg with a slice of toast, because that's what Scott gets most every morning is either bacon or sausage, an egg, and a slice of toast. But on Sundays, I'll add stuff to it. I bet that's a heavy blanket with all those additional stitched on flowers. That must use some really chunky yarn. Look how big those stitches are. And see, I never would have thought to use like a chunky yarn for granny squares. Get past the patterns again. Country wear and warmers. Now we get to see the sweaters we wore in the 80s. I had a baby blue and cream sweater that had the yoke piece that came around. I think my mother had bought it and sent it to me. But it was in the 80s. I wore that probably from 1980 to 83. So there's all these knitted projects in here. Country wear and warmers. That's interesting. It's folk wear. That's called a warmer. Oh, wow. Aprons. Keep your dress clean. My goodness. Let's see. Oh, here's the children's corner. This is the little toys. So you'd make a tiny little quilt for the little baby thing. And these dolls almost look like they're made with paper mache and fabric only. I wonder if the doll instructions are in here. I bet they are. Make a little, all this doll furniture I bet is in here. Make you a little shepherdess out of, looks like burlap. Oh, she's cute. Hi, Josie. I got a treat in the mail, and I thought I'd just share it with you guys. I love the patchwork quilt. I think these are anymore. What people do is they'll find a quilt that's too damaged to try to save, and they'll take the best parts out of it and make stuff like this. Those look like they're stitched, and then you sew them. These were the dolls that you can color and paint on your fabric. Country crafts kids can make. There's a lady, I don't know if she's TikTok or YouTube, but she was showing how to preserve leaves using glycerin. You soak the leaves in glycerin and the fluid in the leaf comes out and it's replaced with the glycerin, I think, and it retains the color and it turns the leaves into a leathery consistency. And then you can do things like these with the leaves. And Scott and I had just been talking about we wish we could preserve the color in the leaves. And so then that lady popped up in my feed a few days later. Yep, your phone is listening all the time. Love the puzzle of the barn. That would be a cute gift for somebody that likes to do puzzles. This is Noah's Ark. Cut out all the animals. Oh, look, you could do a leaf collector's book. And then preserve the actual leaves and glue them in. Hang on. Oh, you found a cutter quilt. Oh, back here, the animals that we saw, they are cute. But you know, any sewing pattern, I don't know where it was back of the case. Any sewing pattern, you can use your cutter quilts to do this. Just treat it like it's the actual material. So you could, any pattern you came across, whether at a thrift store or whatever. Ooh, it's a wedding ring quilt. I bet the pattern for this child's chair and bed are in here. That is beautiful. That would beat the plastic stuff that you buy now. And I bet the crib mattress would fit right down in that. So you could, keep using the crib. That's cute. And a little pony and a chest, and then this chair. Corn husk potpourri and natural dyes. Corn husk dolls. And make your own potpourri. They've even added dried flowers to the mix. Sorry for the slamming doors. I think my son forgets that I'm live sometimes. Oh, isn't that pretty? Dyeing with natural materials is another step in the art of creating one-of-a-kind craft projects entirely by hand. Well, I might read that and see if I could do a video or something on that. This was done all with natural dyes. This deer over here, this was all natural dyes. That is amazing. Back to some country foods. Corn moussaka, stuffed cabbage, colossal corn burger, a layered hamburger bake. Looks like hens wrapped in bacon. Everything's better with bacon, right? Let's see. Saucy chicken pie. Okay. I haven't done Cornish hens in years. I should get some and bake them up. Of course, we got the big turkey days next week. Anybody got some special plans? I'm going to be doing a video on how I cook collard greens because I cook them so there's none of that hard branchy stuff in it. I can't stand when people leave the stems in collard greens. I think they're absolutely vile like that. But my mother-in-law taught me the correct way to do it. According to her, it's the correct way. And it's the way that I like to eat collard greens. So Cindy asked me if I would do a video on how I cook the collard greens. So we'll do that one day this week. Or I will do it and throw it up as a regular video. Oh my goodness. Cole's in stirring up trouble again. Howard, Tippy, Callie, please go out on the porch and just ignore him. All right. There are a lot of recipes in here too. Oh, look at the soups. It's too hot for soup right now. An oxtail vegetable soup. Good luck finding an oxtail. Not going to happen around here. I'm just looking at the recipe. Sunshine carrots. Oh, that's gross. Corn relish molds. I will send that to Sophia. She's always sending me nasty, what's it called? Aspic recipes. You know, when they put like hot dogs and olives in it. And it, oh, badness. So I'll have to send that one to her. Tells you how to do your own sprouting. So you have some sprouts to add to your salad. That's really easy to do. Cabbage slaw. I don't put sugar in mine. Scott hates a sweet slaw. I don't put any sugar in mine. There's another gelatin mold. It's a cucumber ring supreme. I don't think so. Here's putting up food. Garlic okra pickles. Greg would eat those like so fast. And cinnamon pickle slices. I guess that's this one. Dill cucumber sticks. I don't see those in the picture. That looks like mint jelly. Mint jelly with cream cheese on crackers is delicious. There's a recipe for hot pickled peppers. Oh, I love pickled beets. Scott doesn't like beets at all. I was looking to see if they had pickled asparagus, because that's another one that Greg loves. Pickled banana peppers. I've misplaced my pressure cooker. I don't know what I did with it. Different marmalades. See, I grew up doing all this kind of stuff with my grandmother. Apple Jonathan. Ooh, it's got tart apples, maple syrup, sugar, butter, egg, flour, baking powder, orange peel, salt, and orange juice. Apple Jonathan is from back to front. Apple Jonathan from back to front. Black walnut cake. This is, I don't see Apple Jonathan and raspberry cherry pie. So is that the Apple Jonathan? I don't think they included it in the picture because that doesn't look anything like what they're describing in this recipe. And I don't see anything else in a baking dish. So I don't know what they've done. Hey, Pam. Peg Robinson sent me a gorgeous book and some patterns, and I thought I'd just share them real quick. Not taking longer than I thought. This is Christmas cake, maid of honor cupcakes, double chocolate crumble bars. That sounds like something I could make and send to work with Scott. It's got sugar, butter, eggs, vanilla, flour, pecans or walnuts, unsweetened cocoa powder, baking powder, salt, tiny marshmallows, semi-sweet chocolate pieces, peanut butter, and crisp rice cereal. I bet that would be a good one to send. Mail went already?
Yeah.
Here's a recipe for cherry mincemeat pie, honey. I've never combined things.
I like mincemeat.
I know you do.
Nobody else does. I like it.
One year I made a mincemeat pie because Scott asked me to, and we took it over to the in-laws. Why on earth did you make that? I said, because Scott wanted it. He may be sick of mincemeat by the time this pie is gone because he's the only one eating it, but he wanted it. And I try to have things that my husband likes. Country festivities, a homespun Christmas. That is what I'm trying to do this year. Everything's handmade. If I think you're worth a handmade gift, you get one in the family, you know. I'm seeing some little dollies that look cute on the tree. And I'm wondering if these snowflakes are a crocheted item. Somewhere I have a book that's nothing but crocheted. You crochet them with thread, and then you put that fabric stiffener on them, and it makes them firm so they just stay snowflake shape. You use pins to block it out. They even did their wrapping paper their own self there. They got puzzles that are shaped like a chicken and a cow. Dollies. I actually have some doll heads and arms somewhere. That I could make this doll like this. I have the ceramic heads and arms. And I think I even have legs. Corn husk. You getting ready to go to Mother's?
She's got water on the floor downstairs.
Oh no, where did that come?
Bathroom.
Oh dear. Greg, can you hold the door for your dad? Can you hold the door open?
Yes.
Oh Lord. And it's not been raining, so now how did water get in the downstairs bathroom? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Well, I'm going to quit. I've got to get through this because I was going to go with him to keep her occupied while he worked on some things. So, unless the toilet overflowed or something, I don't know. Do you want me to go with? Okay. Well, the dryer vent thing is still in the car.
He got it.
Okay. So I might just stay here. I don't know. I'll think about it here in the next few minutes. Whoopie pies, that's what those are. A plum pudding. I might try a plum pudding sometime just to say we've done it. Because we've never made one. I've never made a plum pudding. So, all right, and then we're down to the terminology in the back. So again, Peg, if you're watching, I got the book and the patterns. So thank you so much. It was such a lovely surprise in the mailbox yesterday. I'll tell y'all, I'll see you later. All right, take care, guys. Thanks for hanging with me for a few minutes. Bye.